my Squires project. With a fancy little, very boring title, so sorry. It means a lot that you guys are all here. Without further ado, I present to you my Squires project. This is my Capstone project. It is an overview of the project I've been working on for most of my squireship called the Herald Training Resources. I love you. The laser pointer circle. This works. All right, this is how we're doing things. I lied. This is a PowerPoint on why cheating at Thumb Wars makes it more fun. See, you guys are worried it's going to be boring. Why does it make it more fun? First off, no one uses Thumb Wars for anything serious. If we're doing something serious, it's rock, paper, scissors. I'm sorry, I do make rules. Secondly, Thumb Wars is really boring. It's just like, I'm sorry, it's boring. And cheating at it makes it more fun and interesting. And there's a side note that you may or may not be able to read depending on how close you are. It does say, for anyone fact-checking me, there is World Thumb Wrestling Championships. I looked at the wiki page for thumb wrestling to make this PowerPoint presentation. But my point for this is golf exists, it's boring, and I think it would also be more interesting if there was like entertaining cheating. I'm pretty sure there's normal cheating in that one. Alright. First, to cheat at Thumb Wars, you have to understand what the established rules of Thumb Wars are. So there are different regional rules, but the basic rules is, I'm going to have Talon come here and help me demonstrate this. Oh. You link your hands together, like so, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war. 5, 6, 7, 8, better keep your thumb straight. And you do this. And then, you see.
Cheat immediately.
yeah, cheat immediately. You see, that was pretty boring until we got to that part. But the goal is to pin your opponent's thumb down for 3 seconds. And there's different rhymes. I learned there's a bunch of different rhymes depending on where you are. There's some really bad ones. The one I did is was voted on by my roommates and unit mates, Bug and Blue, as the best one and the correct one. So those are the only ones that mattered. All right. Question: how to cheat? This is really important because
have 2 thumbs.
Have 2 thumbs is really funny. There's some obvious ones. Use your other hand. My favorite, gaslight them about the rules. I just put them up here, but maybe I can convince you they're different. I also like a good step on their toes, tickle them. A classic, look over there. And
Squirrel.
What?
Squirrel.
Squirrel, yeah. And then knock them off their balance, just yoink them. But I will be taking audience participation in this moment for suggestions. Cobbler.
Leaning in to kiss the homies.
Leaning in to kiss the homies is a good one. Spanjacks.
Surgical thumb extensions.
Surgical thumb extensions is so dramatic for something that we've established doesn't matter. Love it. 10 out of 10. You.
Grapple.
Grapple, just
Just fall down.
All right, Regulus.
Prosthetic thumb.
Prosthetic thumb. Just yoink. They can't pin it if it's over there. I love it. Love it. Thias.
Dislocate their shoulder.
Just. Me
too, honestly.
All right.
Put the on your shoulder.
Callroom.
Squeaky hammer on the head.
Funny. I don't know your name.
Aragon.
Aaron, I do know your
Start
name.
a secret handshake.
Start a secret handshake. Shoot, that's going with the gaslighting. You understand. Claire.
Punch them.
Punch them. Yeah, you can.
Distract them by twerking.
All the way in the back. Aiden, yes.
Bring a gun.
Bring it on.
Finally, someone say the actual way to win.
Bring a knife.
Bring a gun, bring a knife. Claire?
Bring up their relationship with their parents.
Oh. This is really,
She has good relationship with her parents.
Shout out to my parents who came here all the way from Indiana. Some of you have met them if you've ever been at the village. I think we've had a good amount of crowd suggestions, and I really do appreciate this energy. It's really just doing wonders for my presentation. All right, and I feel like you have all embodied how this makes this more fun, but I have put it up here on the screen. But first off, as established earlier, Thumb Wars isn't important, and this is just reinforcing the idea that it's not important. The other is it evens the playing field. Now, I would like you all to have fun with this nonsense idea that I've presented you. Turn to somebody and do Thumb Wars. And Sheena, please do not do it in such a way that someone in the hospital single blue corner.
That was a good one. That's crazy. Did your parents ever cheat in Thumb Wars with you when you were a kid?
No, I was really bad at Thumb Wars, and I cheated all the time to beat my siblings.
What was your favorite tactic as a kid?
Gaslighting them.
Gaslighting?
I lied again.
I lied again. I thought you had one question, you had two. I'm so sorry. I hit the button.
We're breaking the rules. It doesn't matter.
I'm also going to talk about my project, mostly because I've spent like almost 4 years of my life working on this, and I'm really proud of it. But I didn't want you guys to sit here in a really boring presentation. And also, I've been thinking about doing a PowerPoint presentation on my cheating on Thumb Wars for 4 years, and I'm so glad to be able to do this nonsense for my friends. To start off, some of you might know about this project, some of you might not, but we're going to start at the beginning. The purpose of the Herald training project was to create a more standardized way to talk and teach heralding in Belagars, and we are calling it heralding. Daggy is dead. I am really town squire. But I also wanted to highlight different ideas, different resources, different ideologies that exist throughout the sport. This spans across the entire United States and Canada, and I think there might be a realm in Germany. Last we looked at a map.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
You see?
There's also players in Mexico.
And Mexico. This is a worldwide thing that exists, and there's different ideologies. And I wanted to put them all in one spot that was easily accessible, that could be added to, that could grow, and that could help create a more standardized way of looking at all of these things. I also wanted to make volunteers' lives easier. I have a paralegal certificate, and a big thing I learned from that is not to reinvent the wheel. Make documentation. Make it in a format that somebody else can reuse it later. This is like an important piece of sustainability for our volunteers. Types of resources. I don't know actually how visible this is. It's not. It's not. But it is a screenshot from the page. The actual page is divided into two sections, which is the resource list, which was like my initial idea, and then this other like project within a project that is called I called it my How to Run series. But the kinds of documentation actually in this are materials around training, ways to test people as well, and then also materials on that help with running of all of these, and guides. The How to Run series is guides on how to run different areas with like every option possible. It's like one of those like kids books where you go to different pages, except you don't go to different pages. There's just 1,200 bullet points. All right. So we're gonna start off with one of the actually first things that I created, and this was created while I was head herald in Durham. I looked at our heralding test and I went, this is not testing people's ability to herald our field, this is testing people's ability to memorize the Book of War. A thing that you really shouldn't be doing. You'll learn the Book of War if you interact with it a lot, but like straight memorization is not useful if you don't comprehend what those things are. And also the Book of War, as Blue likes to say, gaslights you into thinking rules are someplace and then they're now in a different place, or if they've changed, because we don't have a change log. Petition for a change log right here, right now. So I created a Field Marshal or Herald test for Durham. This is about 12-ish questions that kind of quiz you on rules you should know to actually be heralding on a field, and things that I think are important for field heralds to know, even if they're not rules written in the Book of War. This has been implemented in Durham for almost 4-ish years, and I update it as I think of new things that need to get added to it. The second is a martial or heralding classes list. This is just a bunch of links to YouTube videos that I have found, that have been sent to me, that I've collected over the years of different heralding things. This is everything from intro to field heralding, intro to tournament heralding. There's one on like how to run a practice field. There's way more specialized and advanced classes. This is the wide, full range of heralding things. There's weapons check classes as well on there. Alright. Then the next two. The first one is something I made. I call it Heralding Call Level System. It is a document, while not really implemented here, it is a document that I think is very useful to explain to new people, especially in tournaments, how to escalate things to management, basically. What kinds of things can somebody, it's designed for tournaments, so like what kind of things can somebody in a tournament pit handle themselves? When do they need to call a friend? When do they need to call in the person running the tournament? When does everything pause and this becomes like a big deal? And also a little bit of how it's going to be handled or how you should handle it. This gives examples and those kinds of things to let newer people to tournament heralding have an understanding, and it uses green, yellow, and red, and then black calls as like terminology for it, but it really is just like a philosophy of how do I escalate. This was designed for tournaments. I think it could be very easily converted and thought about for the field as well, and also for weapons check. It talks about being like types of interactions, but it also talks about people's attitudes and stuff too, and responses to the things that you say. And then the second one is a document created by Blue. Many of you, if you participate in tournaments, are probably familiar with this, but it is their tournament dossier. I asked them if I could put this in part of my project. There are many things that are in part of this project that people have graciously let me post here. This goes over any rule changes that tournaments might have, and also kind of clarifies rule differences, because we often have a lot of cross gamers in our tournaments, especially as we're seeing people from Daggy here. Record that I did a thing. That was cool. Okay, sweet, we're good to go. All right, to the next page. The next is a resource created by my knight, Sir Talon. It is the tournament social media posts. He created basically an outline for every single tournament you could think of to make his life easier, and I went, hey, wow, this is really nice. Can you just like give me the Google Docs link to this? And then I added it there. I may or may not have told him I was doing that. He knew what my project was though. It's really great. It makes it easy to look at stuff, copy and paste it, adjust it for your needs and your rules. And again, this is going back to the idea of not reinventing the wheel. The last of like the resource area before we jump into the second part of this project is the weapons check equipment list. This is created by Fert. Fert messaged me some questions about weapons check and how to run it, and I sent him a guide I had written, my how to run weapons check, and he went, wow, this is really useful. I created a spreadsheet so we can keep track of everything we need, who's responsible to it, links to buy more things, and all of this for Florida specifically. I went, hey Fert, this is really, really cool. Can you create one that's not just for a specific event? Can you make this more general? And Fert went, yeah, Mia, I can do that. 24 hours later, this man was sending me a Google Docs link for this. I was like, be really hyper-focused. And a part of this, he also created a not a Word document, but we're calling it a Word document, I can't remember the word, just a document that you can print off and just like check mark off if you don't have access to a spreadsheet. It's a really cool resource, and these I think are all really cool resources that are worth people checking out if these are things you're interested in. The final section of this is my How to Run series. This is an ongoing series. I came up with this idea probably partway through my project. I was not planning on making something as big as these documents ended up being, but I was already doing a lot of the work and I can think about things better, and it was easier for me to pass on the information in my head if I had written it down. These are step-by-step guides on how to run different areas where you see people in yellow. So far, I have how to run tournaments and how to run weapons check. And I'm planning on creating a how to run practice field one and also how to run battle games as well in the future. But these are like 4 or 5 page documents with a lot of detailed research and notes and things that I put into these. I think it's important to know with these guides, I tried my best to put not just my ideas, but other people's ideas, even if I agree or disagree with them. I write pros and cons of each thing. I write suggestions on when you should use something based on my personal experience. But these are not the Bible. They're not laws written in stone. These are guides. These are ways to help direct and ways to think about it. And if you don't think about something the same way I do, or you don't find these useful, like, that's okay. They exist because they can be useful. These are a list of improvements I'll eventually make. I was reading through my stuff as I was making this PowerPoint a couple days before this event, and I realized I have no question on grappling rules and shield bashing for my field heralding test, and I went, wow, I really should add that. I don't have time for that. That'll happen after this event. But I also want to create, like Talon did, a social media posts for tournaments. I want to create ones for weapons check. Right now I just have a ongoing Google document where I just keep deleting things and then re-putting in the new stuff for whenever I run a weapons check, and I could make that so much more reasonable than the nonsense I'm doing in my own private document. I also, like I mentioned before, I want to create guides on how battle games and practice fields. And then I also want to create a long-term goal is a Herald skills checklist, which is the skills that overarching I think Heralds need to have in different areas. Ironically, something I've already broken down as part of my non-com trial for the Lost. And ways to test that people have learned those skills. For those that do not know this, I have a master's in public health, and it is in behavioral and health education sciences. And I did a lot of classes on determining how to test things and how to actually measure different kinds of things, because it's really important when you're creating educational content. Are they learning the thing I want them to learn? So I'm really, as I have learned more about that, that has been something I want to do in the future for everybody. And then this is a list of people I'd like to thank. Some of them are here, some of them are not. I'm going to start from, shout out to Vanica and Fox for a conversation we had years ago that inspired this project. I don't think you guys understood how much that conversation drastically, I guess, shaped the outcome of my squireship, and it is deeply appreciated. I'd also like to thank everyone who proofread my documents, which was Blue, and then Vander proofread my social media post, and then proceeded to proofread and go through and provide feedback on every single piece of documentation I had posted on this without being asked.
Now that was the ask.
That was not the ask! I went, hey, does this social media post look good? And Vander went, I shall look through everything. And I actually deeply appreciated that. I want to thank everyone that has ever talked to me about their ideas about running weapons check tournaments, fields, all those aspects. A lot, especially in the how to run guides, a lot of those conversations ended up in there, and I hope if you guys take the time to read them, you see those conversations as well and that inspiration. I want to thank everybody that provided content to this project. Shout out for posting videos of your classes and creating documentation. Really love it. And then I would also like to thank my unit, who I think some of them are scattered around to take like video and photography of the actual ceremony. They love and care about me, and they push me to be the best version of myself, and I am thankful for that every day. And then I want to say thank you to my knight, Sir Talon, who has been my mentor longer than I have been a squire, and means the world to me, and has deeply inspired the things that I do, and I would not be the Herald, I would not be the person, I would not be the squire, I would not be everything I am right now sitting here today without his mentorship, and it means the absolute world to me. This is actually the end. I lied again. We are going to be walking out to the great tree for the ceremony, assuming it's not super wet. It doesn't look super wet. Love that. For the actual ceremony. So if you guys, because there is like technology here, and I do not want to stampede, if you guys exit from the back and then walk to the great tree, unless you have some physical disability. Oh, you have a question.
How do you access this?
Oh, you can access this on the Getting Wiki page. The picture of it was supposed to make it really obvious it was on there, and I realized the picture wasn't visible. You can access it on the Getting Wiki page by searching Herald Training Resources. You can also access it from my